All right, folks. So this is the second video in a series of videos for the Monogram project. So in this step, you should already have your images uh, brought into Photoshop, where you use File, Place, Embed to bring it in. If you didn't know how to do that, you got to go back, watch that video. But you should have a monogram and a photo that you want to place on the monogram. So, before I show you what you're doing, let me show you some of the tools that you need to know about. First of all, you should be able to see your tools. I like to bring them up to the image so they're easy access. If you don't see your tools, go into Windows and down to Tools. If it's checked, that means it's somewhere on your screen. The other thing you need is your layers palette. And if you don't see your layers palette, once again, go under Windows and alphabetical order, layers palette, because each image you have is going to be on a different layer. Now, if you want to know how to use your layers, you got a couple things here. You click the eye, that will hide your layer. There's also some options at the bottom. You can create a new layer just by playing the or pressing the plus symbol. We'll talk about other things in these layers. Um, then you're also have opacity and fill, which technically do the same thing. But fill would literally take down the opacity of your image. And that's actually the first thing we want to do. You want to make sure you select the layer. And you notice the layer that's selected is a lighter gray. And then we're going to take down the opacity. And you can take it down to about 60%. Then what you're looking for is to see how your palm tree, or like for your image, is overlaying your letters. Like right now, what I don't like about this is that there's only basically three palm trees. So I'm going to change the size of my palm tree image by pressing Command T, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. What I don't want is the blue to not be, the letters not to be covered by the blue of the sky. And then I could go back, and now I'll have more palm trees in my picture. So now this palm tree will be sticking out, this palm tree will be sticking out, this one, and then there's a little bit over here. All right. So the next thing what I'm going to do is, and I might have not shown the class this, is to start learning how to delete some of this background. Now, to delete the background, you first got to learn how to select parts of the background. And I'm going to show you that, and that's the first step, that's the point of this video. And what you want to do is, there's a bunch of selection tools. These first one, two, three, four, five, six, seven tools are all selection tools. And we are mainly going to be using the fourth one down, where you get an option here. There's the magic wand tool, there's the quick selection tool, and there's the object selection tool, which is kind of a new tool in the last 2 years. We're mainly going to be using the quick selection tool and the magic wand. Now, I'll show you what the magic wand works best at. Right now, this monogram is black, the background is white. So the magic wand selects by whatever you click. So it selects values and colors. So if I click this black and white letter, notice it's selecting a little part of it. But here's the reason: I'm on the wrong layers. Let's switch layers, click the black letters, and notice it selected everything that was not just black, but everything that was connected. So if you had a floating piece over here, even though it's the same color, it would have not selected it. So, all right, so I have this selected. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to bring back my palm tree layers. And what you need to know is, even though I selected the letters, this is just a floating selection. It's not doing anything. Even if I delete or I hide my letters, notice the selection is still there. It's asking me, it's basically waiting to see what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click the layer with the palm trees, and now, right now, we have the inside of the letter selected. I want the outside of the letter selected. So I'm going to press Shift, Command, and the letter I. And as you do that, you'll notice the outside of the page also is selected. So now it's not the letter selected, It's the inside of the letters that is the outside of the letters that's selected. And if you press delete, you'll notice that your letter shapes are now filled with the image. And so if you bring back the letters, it's darker, but we can make this also less see-through. So we see how bright the letters are with that image going through it. So now we have a base to start with. So this would be the second step for you to be successful. So follow this, watch the video as many times as you need to understand these steps, and watch the next video for the next step.